which is dated today, yesterday, the 22nd day of May 2024.
Speak a little louder.
Okay, I'll be a little louder. I have elected to first refer you to the documents that I have annexed to my response. The response is paginated on the pages in handwriting in black. There are the pages. I invite you to look at page number 9.
Honorable Chair, I want to ask, is it in order to be surprised with a booklet and in less than an hour supposed to determine this? Is this the practice of the committee?
Well, but what is happening is we have been referred to our standing orders, and this is not a petition, has been said by our legal officer, advised by legal officer, and said by His Excellency that his response is in this booklet. For we will proceed with the presentation and the response.
So we take it that it is an act of goodwill to have this document here today.
No, we'll be able to read actually. So proceed, Your Excellency.
Thank you. On page 9, let me be as loud as possible. On page 9, 3 pages up to page 12, up to page 14, are salary slips relating to the deputy governor. On page 9, you can see at the bottom is a salary slip for April 2024, and you can see on the salary slip there is a rental allowance. Is paid a monthly allowance of 100,000 shillings for housing. This is demonstrated required by the Salaries Remuneration Commission.
Put your mic well. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
of your mic, those of us. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. And if you wanted right from the beginning of when we assumed office, we will be able to provide. On page 15, there's a letter by me to the Deputy Governor. This is a letter dated 9th September 2022. And if you look at page 16, the letter reads, after Romans 6, you are hereby appointed as the chairperson of the subcommittee. This is a subcommittee to look into pending bills and procurement processes within the county. This speaks to the questioner, and we shall come back to that he was not given any functions. The next document is on page 17, a letter dated 6th of October, where I appointed one Jackton Odinga as the chief officer. And you can see in that letter, I directed the chief officer in the middle paragraph, in your new position, you report to the county executive committee member for finance and economic planning. Additionally, you'll be required to brief the deputy governor on departmental progress on a weekly basis or more frequently upon request. This speaks to the question as to whether or not he was given functions or the members being mobilized not to hear him or obey his orders. On the next document on page 18, is Executive Order number 1 of 2023, and I'm inviting you to look at page 20. Page 20 at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see in that executive order there is, first of all, number 1 is the office of the governor up there on top, and then secondly, office of the deputy governor. And with the governor, the key office, there's a chief administrative officer, and then the functions are set out. Deputy the governor in the execution of the functions as assigned, chairing county executive subcommittees as assigned by the governor, and I just shown one such assignment, coordinate implementation and execution of special programs as assigned by the governor, and then any other functions assigned to him by the governor. Is a long document. The next document that I need the committee to look at is benefits of state officers by Salaries and Remuneration Commission on page 35. And that relates to the office of the county governor, deputy county governor, and member of the executive committee. If you turn over that document on page 36, paragraph 2, benefits of state officers in the executive of the county government. And A, official transport shall be provided as follows. Roman 1, governor and deputy governor shall be provided with official car or car of engine capacity not exceeding 3,000 cc. And then for the members of county. And then there are the other benefits. I invite you to look at the other benefits, but of importance. I want with respect for the committee to look at page 37, paragraph I, official residence. This is important. The county governor and the deputy governor shall be provided with an official residence together with commensurate home utilities and attendance by the county government. The official residence shall be a physical building house owned by the government. The benefits shall not be committed to cash in lieu of an official residence. This policy was subsequently changed. I shall demonstrate later that the requirement of having an official residence was not a priority, even in terms of the Salaries Remuneration Commission. Then the next document is on page 38. This is to security, matter security. And security is a function of the national government. It's not a function of county governments. And you'll see in that circular by the Inspector General that the provision for governors and deputy governors, they are entitled to bodyguard and 4 officers to provide security at their respective residences. Now, this is has been complied with. We didn't even have to comply with, because as soon as we were sworn in, the county commander came and said, these are the officers assigned to you. And if you don't like any of them, you can look for a replacement. Now, the next document is on page 41, which is a work ticket. In relation to the deputy governor, there are several work tickets. This answers the question of provision of fuel. And I also have a vehicle with a work ticket, you are only allowed to use your official vehicle for authorized activities, and those activities must be covered by a work ticket. And fuel, the provision of fuel is dependent on what is in the work ticket. The driver signs a work ticket, and this is also for accountability. If the consumption of fuel is not commensurate with the journeys you're making, that will clearly be a matter of concern. You can see in that work ticket there is the particulars of two individuals, which is the name of the drivers. And the official driver for our purposes in the county was one J. Bado.
Before you proceed, I think there are two signatures here, one for Dual and one for Frederick, somebody, for security. The security guys are allowed to sign activities. Because if you look at from 2023, 1, 2, 3, you can see there are two signatures here, the activities.
Yeah, that will be now a question of accountability because it is the driver.
Okay.
It's the driver. We should sign.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is also on this form, at the bottom, there are places that don't been filled. If you look at summary of works ticket, and then fuel and oil, total distance, mileage per liter, Governor. This is not a complete form.
Well, maybe. Sorry.
I think I am trying to make the point.
Yeah, but Governor, you're a lawyer. It has no stamps, not signed, not filled properly. How do you explain this?
Okay. Just take note of whatever. I think I will, because of in terms of time.
I think, Chair, the Chief of Staff should have been presiding over this. He should have served the Governor this embarrassment. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, honourable members.
Chair, again.
Honourable members, please.
Chair,
we have no time.
A point of order, Chair.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's be honest and fair to everyone. The Deputy Governor is, I think he's seeing this document today, if I'm not wrong. Is it right, the Deputy Governor? This document.
Yeah, what is it?
This document now before us.
Yes.
He
has not brought any of this type. And we had no answer on those things.
He has not even seen it. So
we are not sure.
How is he going to respond to this now? Are we fair to him?
Okay, let's do one thing. Let the Governor finish his presentation, and then we can ask later questions, please. Eh? Let's mix up.
I think the originals are available for inspection. They are stamped, but in photocopying, even mine has got a French stamp. Yeah, if you look carefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Your Excellency.
Yeah.
And Chair, if we are questioning what the Governor has presented, the same copies had been presented by the Deputy Governor with the same omissions, if we must talk about the omissions. So what applies to one will apply for the other.
I'm saying, let me request one thing from members, please. That let the Governor complete his presentation. And thereafter, then we can ask questions and clarifications.
Yeah, and I want to tell the committee we have nothing to hide. We have absolutely nothing to hide.
Okay.
And I'm glad there has been an invitation for you to visit the county. We have nothing to hide. The next document I want to refer to you is on page 55. This is again from SRC.
Let's go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Now, if you look at page 58, that is a circular from SRC dated 12 July 2021. I'll just read the last paragraph. Consequently, the Commission advises that the 30th of June 2022, the deadline for leasing of houses still applies, and counties should comply. In addition, the Commission would like to reiterate that House Alliance is not payable to the state officer to this benefit, to whom this benefit is extended. The SRC was making the point that you cannot have a house and be paid a house allowance. In our case, we are paying house allowances to the Speaker, to myself, and the other officials of the county.
Governor, that's on which?
This is on page 58.
58.
Yeah. There have been several advisories from the SRC, and they have come to visit us. There was yet another one on 27th of June, and that is found on page 59. Now, when it comes to the question of why we did not build residences for the governor, there's an extract of minutes of the County Executive Committee meeting held on the 9th of November 2022. And if you look at the list of attendances on page 61, I was present and chairing, and the Deputy Governor was present. Now, if you look at the resolution of the county in respect of residences, Roman 8 on page 62, it was agreed that the allocation for construction of state officers' residences in line with Salaries and Remuneration Commission circular number, it is stated there, of 31st of August 2022, an advisory from the Office of the Comptroller of Budget in the letter dated 11th August 2022 be removed from the budget in order to release funds to other more pressing needs. So at a cabinet meeting of the county where the Deputy Governor was in attendance, a resolution was made which was in line with the advisories of the constitutional bodies that are mentioned, that we could take the option of paying allowances, for rent, and we decided to spend the money that was allocated for building to other more pressing problems. And the Deputy Governor was present in that meeting. Now, from page 65, we have included invitations to cabinet meetings. The format of those invitations, and I'll come to them a little later. I now go to read my response, which is from page 1. And I'm not following the order that of the letter, but I address all the issues that appeared pertinent to me and the county government of Siaya. On the question of delegation of duties, in the Executive Order number 1 of 2023 on organization of the structure of the county government of Siaya Executive, the Deputy Governor was assigned specific functions namely deputize the governor in the execution of his functions as assigned. B, chairing county executive subcommittees as assigned by the governor. C, coordinate implementation and execution of special programs as assigned by the governor. D, any other functions assigned to him by the governor. The governor, by a letter dated 9 September 2022, appointed the deputy governor as the chairperson of the cabinet subcommittee to scrutinize pending bills and contracts awarded from the 1st of July to 2022 and to formulate internal controls for payment and procurement processes. 3, in addition, the governor, by a letter dated 6 October 2022, had delegated the deputy governor as the person to whom the chief officer of finance shall report to in matters related to the departmental progress. 4, the deputy governor in his letter at paragraph 13, and the letter has been read to us, states categorically that he fuels his official car while inspecting projects or attending to official duties of the county government of Siaya. It appears to us that there is a distinction between what he's alleging and what he's stating in his letter. Because otherwise he would not be claiming mileage and other facilities. 5, no evidence has been submitted to substantiate the allegation that the county executive committee members are under instructions not to deal with the deputy governor. The allegations are false. The deputy governor has a fully furnished office with all key human resource personnel. If you go there today, nobody has stepped in that office. Even the chair that was brought to this Senate, that chair is in that office. Nobody has sat on it. He has got a boardroom, and we feel very shy to use that boardroom. My boardroom is used by all the staff that are required to use the boardroom. If you go to Siaya today, you'll find his office under lock and key, and it is the only office which is guarded by National Police Service. If you go there, I cannot be able to get an entry because there's 24-hour security by the National Police Service. And the situation remains today. Allegations of withdrawal of utility car and the deputy governor is entitled to one official car of engine capacity not exceeding. The deputy governor is in possession of one official car, and is in possession of that car as we speak, which was allocated to him at the point of assumption of office, being motor vehicle registration number 41CG253A, together with the driver of his choice. We have not redeployed that driver. That driver is still deployed to him because that's an entitlement. The deputy governor driver of choice is Mr. J. Obado, and who is in the possession of the car. 10. The Principal Secretary Minister of Devolution and Planning, by a letter dated 17th August 2017, made a communication bringing to the attention of governors a policy approved by the National Security Advisory Council of 16 February 2017 on the security details for governors, deputy governors, and speakers of the county assemblies. We are aware that the deputy governor was allocated security by the national government, as he must, at the point of assumption of office, just as the governor was allocated, and he still retains the said security details. I do not have in my contingent a security officer provided by the county, because that's not an entitlement, and they are not there anyway. and then I proceed. In any event, post the Senate decision regarding impeachment, the deputy governor moves around with a contingent of national government vehicles, complete with beefed-up security. I don't enjoy that. The minority leader or majorities, probably in this Senate, at least by the time I was here, were not given a contingent of cars by the National Police Service, 3 cars to 1 individual. Again, that is fact. 11, for the record, the county government does not provide security for the officers, principally because security is exclusively a function of the national government. 12, the county government enforcement officers are not trained to provide personal security or act as bodyguards, as their role is restricted to enforcement. I know some counties have trained them to provide security, but ours are not trained at all for security purposes, other than enforcement. And our enforcement force is courtesy of a city in Canada to which we are twinned. They normally work with us very, very closely. Now, allegation of refusal to provide fuel for the deputy governor's official car and refusal to pay allowances and office petty cash. I wonder whether any senator here operates on a petty cash. Nobody in government is allowed to operate at an individual level as an officer, public officer, to have petty cash. It will be against government financial regulations and the Public Finance Management Act. Fuel government officers' allowances under office expenses are provided on a need basis and upon requisition. I cannot in my car just walk into a petrol station and say, fill it, without a requisition and an approval by the transport officer. And in order to abuse these malpractices, in China now we operate on fuel cards, in which you're given a limit to what you can spend. 14, from our records, there's no indication of requisition for fuel allowances or any other expenses from the office of the deputy governor. When I was coming to Nairobi, I had to put a request for fuel to be provided in my car and to get a ticket. It is not a matter of cost. According to office records, the last time that the deputy governor used the work ticket was in July 2023. It is the work ticket that forms the basis for fuel requisitions for official vehicles. 15, allowances are paid in advance for authorized or approved trips. In the event that they are not paid in advance, the relevant officer has to claim by providing evidence of the official trip in the form of attendance sheet, work tickets, traveling documents, such as boarding passes, after which payment is made. And I know, having been in this house, that applies. Office petty cash, there is no requirement for issuance of petty cash to public officials. I've said that. However, regulations 19, 92, 93, 94 of the Public Finance Management County Government's regulations provides for purpose and manner of issuance of imprest, including the circumstances for issuance of an imprest, relevant officers entitled to make an application, nature of application, and the factors to be considered before issuance of an imprest. 18, the office of the deputy governor has not made formal application for imprest as stipulated in the Public Finance Management County Government regulations. And for purposes of funding and operations, the office of the governor and deputy governor fall under the office of the Department of Governance. When I want to make a trip, I don't have my own private allocation. They are budgeted under governance. So I report to governance. My Minister for Governance is here. When I want to make a trip, he's the one who authorizes how many, because there was times when people can take 10, 20 people, and he knows the limits. Number 19, the office responsible for approval of allowances and fuel has confirmed in writing there is no formal request for fuel or allowances from the office.
Excuse me, Honorable Your Excellency. We seem to be running out of time. I will request that if you can ably summarize.
Yes, I can summarize.
We can give direction.
Yeah, on the question of official residence addressed on paragraph 2023, and I've said much about it, and all the circulars of the SRC are there with you, and they have changed over time. As to matters within the purview of EEC and Auditor General, that's a matter not within our authority or mandate. They can speak for themselves. Appointment of Biro Tare, there's no office in government as that of an acting deputy governor. The deputy governor can act, but you cannot have an acting deputy governor. When there's a process in the law which we have indicated. Paragraph 28, Article 180 of the Constitution is explicit on the process of nomination of deputy governor. Honorable Shkuku used to call himself the people's watchman. Now, watchman didn't come running here saying, you know, why should he claim the watchman? If somebody is claiming he's deputy governor, there are people who are campaigning in the county saying, I'm governor. I really have nothing to do with that. That is claptrap. That is now engaging in trivialities. And the Senate should not be engaged in claptrap or trivialities with respect. Attempt to resolve the dispute, let me say without reading, in Isiaya, we got a unique situation. In the county assembly, there is no minority. They all belong to one political formation. The county government of Isiaya is an ODM government, so to speak. And when you have a deputy going out to say, and we quote him, when he went and appeared, and he said this in many places. Spice FM on 13th July 2023, Honorable William Odul said, I want to hold my government accountable. I want to ensure good governance. Now that, and then interview asked him, you want the opposition within? And he says, exactly. Then he said, in a baraza and many barazas, I as William Odul, I am holding elected deputy governor that has made a conscious and deliberate decision to work with the government. I have no problem with that. But unfortunately, the government, the party that sponsored me was the ODM party, and I have no shame to say that. And if you look at the Constitution, a deputy governor is never elected. It talks about the election of the governor. And the governor is required under the Constitution and the law to be accountable and responsible to the governor. And if he can do that, I have no problem. I have no problem. I have no problem with him today. If he says, I'm willing to work as your deputy, I have no problem. That is his constitutional role. And I will not interfere, including, occupying his office. I cannot interfere. And finally, on the question of attending cabinet meetings, it is upon him to decide whether he wants to attend. But I can tell you, this I want to tell you without fear of contradiction, that he is in a hostile territory. We are all politicians. He is in a hostile territory. He's in a hostile territory. And that's why he has some difficulty functioning within the main headquarters of the county. I offered to give him an alternative office. He refused. And instead he came with a contingent of policemen who guard him when he is at the county headquarters. We are multi-party state, have no problem with that, but is dealing in an environment where the county government is sponsored by a particular political formation. And if today he says that he's bound by the doctrine of collective responsibility, because he said even that doctrine, he does not recognize it. I don't know how you can operate in a cabinet where you walk in and say all that has been said is trash. It can't work. Even as a Senate committee, the resolution of the Senate committee, even in voting in a bill or a motion, I mean, all my members are bound by it. You may have a different opinion, but you're bound by it. No circumstances in any modern democracy where a governor will be required to be a deputy or to work under a deputy. That is a situation that cannot obtain. And I've been a deputy in my life when holding other offices. So if I were to speak my mind, if this was a petition, we would have found a way of addressing it. It should not be lost to the Senate that the powers of impeachment rest with the Senate. And I quoted a senator who was one of the makers of the American Constitution when he said why that power was given to the Senate. Because the Senate is considered to be a very, very important body in the political dispensation that we have. In France, when there is intricate legislation, they take it to the Senate. They don't take it to the Assemblée Nationale. The kind of allegations that have been made here reach the Senate and substantiated a problem, a domestic problem, and use the cover of bring it before the Senate. I think this is a matter, if you were to look at the evidence which has been placed to you, you would dismiss. And the context to this was when the deputy governor started raising these issues, before the county assembly took the drastic steps of impeaching the deputy governor, they called him and asked him, what is this that you're talking about? Can you let us know the substance of these allegations? The county assembly called him, he gave evidence, he appeared, and they found all the allegations unsubstantiated. Not a party in the impeachment trial. I didn't appear here. I was not required to appear to carry directions which on the law. But I've been in this house. I've represented deputy governors who are in terrible positions in my legal practice. And I know their concerns. And that's when I took over the office of governor. I sympathized with the deputy governor. And I said he must have a substantive role. I gave him the whole. It is here in writing. The chief officer was, and together with the SCEC, were accountable to the governor, to the deputy governor, without any restrictions. So I think next time you summon me here, as a senior legislator was standing, And that not to say that you don't oversight me being a governor.
Yeah.
But I think for the authority of this, the House of the Senate, issues of this nature should be looked at in a bipartisan way. And we invite you to Siaya, Senator Ojir, Masabit rather. We invite you to Siaya and come look at service delivery, come and look at where the governor, here, if you look at his office, you don't have an office here. Chairman, your office, you compare the office of my deputy governor, it does not compare. Even my own office does not compare to his office.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Your Excellency. I think you had, and your concerns will be taken to the Speaker, because the Speaker will make attention to whatever comes to his office. So in future, we'll advise him accordingly. Members, I think we have only a few minutes, about less than 20 minutes. So I will request whatever question you're going to ask, be brief. So let me start from.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Let me also thank our Governor for coming here today. And I want to make a suggestion, Chair.
In charge. More radio, 88.2 FM. We are 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 in charge.
Obviously.
More radio.
Most of the things the governor said, it is identical. It's what the other governor also said. And the problem is not with the governor. The problem is with the constitution. So some things we cannot force the governor to implement. So let us be honest. Let's see how they can work together harmoniously. I have no questions for him now, because I want the deputy governor to have this copy, and then we have a date to go and visit him. Thank you very much.
Chair? Chair, I wanted to ask the governor if, in his opinion, that their working relationship with the deputy governor is irreconcilable. Is it something that can be salvaged, or is it beyond repair?
It is beyond repair. The reason why I'm saying it's beyond repair, my own party leader called a meeting where we were all present with all the MCAs, all the leadership from Siaya, and all the elders that he's referring to. They were called to that meeting. He was present, and this was very early days, and my party leader pleaded to him that he needed to go slow. But those interventions did not yield any fruit. And I felt very offended, because I felt that there should not have been that attempt to reconcile us at that time, because I felt there was no justification. But Raila Odinga took time, and he pronounced himself very clearly that he was on a totally different path. Now, how you can reconcile me with him, and he has publicly stated what path he's following, is going to be extremely difficult. But I want you to come to Siaya, see for yourself, talk to the people, and look at the work we are doing. One of the things that I was being accused of, that if I became a governor, I would find it very difficult to live in the village. I'm living in the village, and I come to town only when I'm required to come to town because of commitment in serving the people of Siaya. So you can make that attempt within the framework of the law.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Welcome, my governor and your team. And I'm very, very happy that at least the issues which are there on the ground have been made bare, both by Udul when he appeared here. I think all of us heard what he said. And the governor has also told you exactly what is happening there. And I would like to now appeal to the committee. Let us all go there on the ground and find what is happening there. Because as you know, we are living in a political atmosphere. The issues which have been tabulated there, the legal issues, this is not given to me, that those ones are not the real issues. The real issues are the political issues which are there on the ground, and when you go there, you will just feel it. Because Mr. Chairman, if you go to Bomet, which is a purely Uda area, yes, and then you start talking about ODM, I think you will find it very, very difficult that you are working in those circumstances. So it will not. We shall theorize here in our midst here that, oh no, let us see, oh, let us rein in everybody, let us rein in everybody. But you cannot rein in when the political atmosphere does not allow you to do that. So I think, Mr. Chairman, this is an issue which we must consider soberly, and we must know that we are not living in a vacuum. We are living in a political space, and this space, we must, even if you want to bring reconciliation, you cannot bring that reconciliation without recognizing that fact, that is the fact on the ground, and you start from there. That once you start from there, then you can tackle. But if you go there with militants that you want to, like I saw some of our members here starting to be very militant, that, oh, no, this thing, we must rein in there. But I don't think, Mr. Chairman, and this is not an issue we can tackle like that. And if you think that is the way you can go, try it, and let's see how you succeed.
Senator, sorry. Muma,
Can I say something?
you have not even said anything today. Surprisingly, talk. Please say one or two things. I don't just say too many.
Thank you for your response, and I think the committee will have to look at what you have submitted, and I believe we will make the decision to come to Siaya. And what I want to ask you is, for the committee, I think we score better as a committee if we get as many of governors and DGs working together. So we will be serious in our reconciliation or mediation efforts. And I want to ask you to be magnanimous enough to be open. It may be possible for you to work with your DG. We will actually be asking the DG the same thing, that he should be open-minded enough. And open-minded means that both parties, the DG will be willing to know where he went wrong, admit, and be a step back. And even you, in your case, if we find that there's something that where you cross the line, that you would be willing to do that, because the focus should be, how do we get these two offices to deliver better? And you, having been a senator, should be one of the governors that assist us to deal with this problem that is not just in one county, but in many counties. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Senator.
Thank you, Chair. Bwana Governor, when the history of this country is finally written, on the chapter of Constitution, even if you don't get a chapter or a paragraph, at least you'll get a mention. I would want you briefly, because we are constrained of time, to tell this committee what would be the ideal position of the governor. What would you advise this committee to do? Because we are having all these problems across the country, and you have been a senator, a senior lawyer, I think you can say a word to advise this committee, not necessarily as the governor of Siaya, but as a senior citizen of this country. And in your concluding remarks, I would just want, because of the respect you have in this country, I would want you to either confirm or deny that you have goons, because I learned somewhere that you had goons somewhere.
Point of order. Chair, I wanted us to have that discussion when we go there. I think that would be better because of time.
Maybe let me just want a brief advice.
From my understanding, the position of deputy governor, which reflects the position of deputy governor, deputy president, was crafted to give protection to deputy governors and deputy president, because there was a period in this country where a vice president could be sacked on the roadside. And there are so many examples of that. But the provisions of the Constitution did not envisage a situation where the deputy president or the deputy governor is given roles, functioning roles. And this is a situation that is akin to what is in the United States of America. If you look at the practice in that democracy, the office of the deputy vice president is basically important when there's a vacancy, so that there is no lacuna, there is no gap in leadership, there's no vacancy. But for all intents and purposes, the vice president of the United States of America, in the order of authority, he ranks like number 4 or 5. Is not an office with the authority. So it is upon you to decide who should assign those functions. Should it be the governor, or should it be written in law, the functions of the deputy governor? My position that if it was written in law, then you would not have a functioning government. You would require a separate election. There are some democracies where, and I think in the United States is obtained in the early days, where in an election, the person who is number 2 becomes the deputy. So he has got some mandate or authority. But in our system, the person who is elected is the governor, and the governor nominates the person to be the deputy governor or the deputy president. So it is a constitutional debate which we should have. But either way, you'll have the dangers. You may have a system that would be very difficult to have functioning. But I don't have the last word on this.
Okay.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Governor. From your submissions and the letters of appointment that you've taken us through appointing your deputy to oversee finances and procurement, is it the genesis of your separation as co-partners in the leadership? Because it seems he discovered where the honey is and basically is not leaking it.
I think your guess is as good as mine. But
Mr. Chairman, I had warned the governor against a duel when he was appointing him. Because I told him that it was not going to be easy.
Yeah. And that is true. Including my own party leader, who told me you are making a big mistake. Big. In fact, the issues that we're experiencing now, I go through sleepless nights because Dr. Bru here told me, you're making a big mistake. My own party leader told me, you're making a big mistake. It didn't take 2 months. And the problem was that as soon as I had been sworn in, that same day, I came to Nairobi to participate in the presidential election petition. And I left him running the county for 2-3 months. And when I went back, I think he was expecting a reversal of role that I would be the deputy. In fact, he said, Orengo, you have got a very big name. You help Raila Ukoju. And I'll help you up Achini. And the story of the camel was repeated in Siaya. I found myself out of the tent, and my deputy right inside the tent.
Thank you.
And without the county assembly, you know, I would have been a lot of problems today.
Number 2, based on confessions of my good friend Senator Youth Leader Oburu Odinga Daktari, that this is a political problem, might it have been fueled further by his salvation by Senate? Now that after his salvation at the Senate, he can no longer land. It's too hot and the smoke is too much for him to breathe in Siaya County.
And that smoke may be even against the Senate. Because the people in Siaya are saying, you know, this is the way it should have gone. And the Senate, in fact, he says, he doesn't even say the Senate saved him. As I've quoted, he said, Kenya Kwanza saved me. And even as he walked out after the impeachment, the company spoke louder than words. So I don't, and I've been in this political situation many times. If I go to a county like Oburu was saying, and I start talking a different political language, hata kabla kusema chochote, I'll find myself flying in the air because whatever I'm saying is not amenable to the people there. So I think it's the deputy governor to decide.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think finally, Your Excellency, we come to the end of the session. We are rushing to the chamber. I want to thank you so much. Those are the documents presented by the Deputy Governor. Maybe I want to make one request. The committee is willing to visit your county. And as you rightly said, that there's hostile environment. Of course, we know we're all politicians. But however, I was thinking that each of you to resent the hardness.
Not for everyone. It's only for Kenya Kwanza. Senators.
Order, my friend. It's even you there. Okay. We know the regions. So, for the interest of the people of Siaya, so the development can take place and work. I know you are still working. But however, I would like, as a senior council, as an elder, as a governor, to be a bit accommodative to at least allow. Though it is not possible to reconcile, I think that's going to be very hard. Will always be accusation and counter-accusation. And therefore, but we will discuss the same when we come to visit you. We will communicate to you. But I will still request and wish that we see the two of you working together. And I want to thank you so much for being honest. We know what is going on in the country. The political hard times. I'm sure from next year, things will completely change. Not only you. As we talk now, we have about 20 counties that are experiencing the same problem. And it is actually the wish of this committee, which has been given the responsibility to oversight the counties and the intergovernmental relation issues, to at least calm the situation and calm the issues taking place between the governors and the deputy governors. And therefore, we will still plead that we will, ask as a senior council, a lawman. The country has certain, you have, as somebody said, that you have a lot to known about you, and a lot of, you have always been doing some interventions in various political arenas. But of course, it's not hard to solve issues in your county with all your experiences and all your wise man. Therefore, we will come and discuss issues further. But for now, we will thank you for giving us your time. I know you have been very busy. And we will request, if there is no any other, anybody who has any burning issue, or if the governor can say maybe his last word.
The only thing that I want to say,
yes,
even for me, if today I said in Siaya that I'm not working with ODM, that's the end game for me. Yeah. So it's not really for me to do something. If the deputy governor can say, I am back to my political party, I am a deputy governor and I'm not in contention with the governor, that I agree that the doctrine of collective responsibility and accountability applies. If you can give those assurances, what would be the problem?
Okay. I understand.
But I think if you want to solve the problem, but he's still out there saying he belongs to a different political party, the people of Siaya will not allow me to go into that negotiation. They will not allow it. Okay. Both of us will be gotten rid of if I try that. And I don't want to be gotten rid of.
I think, Chairman, from the tone of His Excellency the Governor, he has shown and stretched an olive hand to his friend, Deputy Governor. I think the committee, with your wisdom, Chairman, we should move with speed and utilize this grace period that we have and bring our good friends together and ensure development proceeds and there is normalcy in the great county of Siaya under the leadership of the youth leader, Dr. Odinga. Thank you.
I think that's okay. Of course, we have to return down for the interest of everybody. Your Excellency, I think we will excuse you. Thank you very much. And thank you for your time. We will meet again to communicate to you the time we are going to visit you. For those few, thank you very much and most welcome again.